G'day, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I've got a very interesting video that I've been meaning to do for a while now actually, and it is the secrets to budget shaving and tips and tricks that can bring your cost of shaving down. Initially, most people want to save money, so they switch from cartridge razors to traditional wet shaving and use double-edged safety razors. So today it's going to be mainly focused on double-edged safety razor shaving. In the spirit of budget shaving, I'm going to be using Dove shaving soap. I've done a soap shave before in earlier videos where I used the cheapest soap that's available in Australia. It was a Coles soap, and I think they cost around less than 20 cents per bar of soap, which is really inexpensive. I found that soap to be very harsh and not so good on the skin. So let's get into today's shave and let's talk a little bit more about today's video. So I've just got my bar of Dove soap, and I haven't watched any other videos, but I have seen people do Dove shaving soap videos and shaving with it. So just running the hot water and wetting the face. Today I'll be using for the third time the King C Gillette shaving razor, which is already preloaded with the King C Gillette blades that come with it. So what are the secrets to budget shaving? The number one secret to budget shaving is really the concept of cost per use. So if you've got both hardware like your razor and your brush, and things which are usable, which is in software, which is your soap and your aftershave balm, and your razor blades. So they're the main things that we need to shave with. Styptic pens are also part of the software. So the idea of cost per use. So sometimes things can be inexpensive, but if you have to use double the amount of product, then it's double the price. It is not that cheap. So let's go with I'm just going to do a hand lather with the Dove. So the most expensive part of shaving is the hardware. It's the razor itself. And so buying a inexpensive razor, which is what a lot of guys use, perhaps doesn't give you the best shave or isn't the best quality of razor. Like for example, if you're going to get a razor that's very good quality, usually they're made out of titanium or marine grade stainless steel. And this way they'll last a very long time, and they'll be heirlooms, and you can pass them down to your children and your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews or whoever. A marine grade steel and a titanium razor will outlive you. So this is not so slick at the moment. Let's see if we can improve it a bit by adding water. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And so the cost per use is really important. Like take razor blades. Some people can use certain razor blades for 3 shaves, 5 shaves, and some people can use other razor blades for 8 or 9 shaves. And that brings the cost of the razor blades down. So for example, you might have a blade which costs, say 20 cents per blade. But if you can get double the amount of shaves, then say a 15-cent razor, well then your cost per use has gone down. So we've just put the Dove on, and now I'm just going to add some more moisture. I can tell you straight away, it doesn't have the slickness of shaving soaps, but it does have some protection, some cushion on it, because I think of the moisturizing cream, but certainly not the slickness, but it has cushion. So Dove shaving soap, just initially, before even shaving with it. Yeah. So you can use shavings, you can use bar soaps, and you can use different shaving soaps and creams, and the cost per use is the main secret for shaving. However, as I said in my last video, if you've watched it, a budget brush will not last as long as a high quality brush. So cost per use, this over time will be a lot cheaper than that, because you'll be using this for a few years. This, I think, will start to break down, and it also doesn't provide a very good quality lather and a brush. It's very thin, so it's not going to provide a quality shave and a quality experience for you to use. It's just not fit for purpose. So that's why, number one, when you look at budgeting, you should have a look whether something's fit for purpose and whether it's going to provide you with the quality of shave that you're looking for. Because if you buy something that doesn't provide you with a good quality shave, it's not even worth anything. It doesn't matter how inexpensive it is. If you buy a razor for $3 and it doesn't give you a good shave, it's worthless. And one of the things is the Soluna Czechoslovakian razor, travel razor. It was a terrible razor. Even though it's very inexpensive, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. So let's get on with the shave. However, you know, this King C Gillette is widely available and does a terrific job. So you want something that works, and sometimes finding that quality product that really does a good job is going to save you money in the long run, because you're not going to have to change razors, you're not going to have to ditch that soap that you're never going to use. And that's why sometimes it's better to try samples and see whether you like something or not before buying a whole pack of something. You know, there's nothing worse than buying a puck and then not liking it, and then nobody wants it. You can't, you know, you give it away and people smell it. Oh, I don't want that. I've had that happen with a few items before. So yeah, razor blades are also an item that, you know, buying in bulk, once you find something that works for you, is going to really bring your cost of shaving down. If you're buying individual packs, individual tucks of razors, it gets very, very expensive very quickly. The markup on them is huge. Like for example, in my local shop, they sell Astra blades, and they sell one packet for $5.95. It's just incredible. It's more than $1 a blade. But if I buy 100, I can get 100 for maybe $12 or $13 for 100, which brings the cost to maybe 6 cents each, rather than 20 times higher by buying individual packets. Sampler packs are really, really good to buy to see which blades you like. And then after you've tried maybe about, you know, 6 months worth of different blades that you've tried, you know, 2 pieces each, you'll begin to know which one you like the most, and then buy 100 of them. So that's probably the best way to approach it, because using a DE razor is definitely going to bring your costs down terrifically and save you so much money. I need to wet the face. And I'm not liking this Dove. So can you shave with this Dove? Yes, you can. Is it acceptable? It is. but you can't compare this Dove to shaving, to fine shaving soaps. Yeah, it just doesn't have that slickness as much as, say, some of the really good shaving soaps. It does. You can certainly shave with it. I give it probably about a 6 out of 10, to be honest. So probably above average compared to some of the soaps that I've used. And I think that's because of the moisturizing cream in it, to be honest. It does have that cushion. So if you are on a budget, shaving with Dove so far is works okay, you know. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, in terms of cost per use, is, say for example, you have a good quality product. If you need to use less of it, again, it brings the cost down. But the way in which you use less of it is by knowing how much you're using. So I use a little soap spoon and measure it out. And typically I need about 1 gram to do a good shave. But you've seen on my Arco video, the almond video, do you need an almond size? I used only half a gram of Arco, which is a fraction of an almond size, and it lasted more than 3 passes. I could easily use that probably for 4 passes. And so that brings your cost down dramatically. So a good quality product, you're going to need less of. And portion control and using less product is really, you know, going to make your products last a lot longer. I see people use copious amounts of lather on the face, and they're not looking for slickness. They're looking for, you know, like they're making a sponge cake. They're looking for peaks. You need to get stiff peaks. You know, it looks like they're making a really hard mayonnaise. You know, and I'm thinking, wow, there's so much foam. And if you lather up your face, right, and this is the reason why slickness is so important. If you put a bunch of lather and you want to really see how much lather you're actually using, whether slickness or foam is more important, simply take out the razor blade from the razor and get your bar, your safety bar, and just run it down the face and see how much foam is left on your face. See how much residue is left on the face. And then you'll quickly discover that it's only that first little, you know, half fraction of a millimeter against the face, and that slickness on the skin that protects the skin. That's how much soap you actually need. So some guys, they use a ridiculous amount of lather and put they look like Frosty the Snowman. It's unbelievable for me. And then they wonder, and they're not really testing it for slickness. And I think men with coarser stubble, you know, really coarse and dense stubble, really realize the difference, can distinguish the difference between slickness and how a product works against the skin. So I think those men with coarser, denser stubble and do full face shaving around the most difficult parts of the face are going to be better candidates to describe what their experience is. And it's a bit like, you know, a street motorcyclist versus Valentino Rossi telling you what their experience is on a really souped up motorcycle. They're really going to be able to push the product and push the experience to the limit. So for me, the hallmark of a very good product is how it performs. So sometimes using a more expensive product, let's say for example, it's $50, and you know you're going to use a gram per shave, and it's 100 grams. Well, then it's 50 cents a shave for that first hot water. Yeah, this stuff works. I'm just going to bring up my sideburns a bit. So the cost per shave actually is quite negligible. If you use half a gram of an expensive product or 3/4 of a gram, it really brings the cost down. That's why I keep on saying only use what you need. You know, it's much cheaper and much better for the environment and your pocket to use just what you need. I mean, it's really nice for a video to watch somebody use it that looks like Frosty the Snowman. But it's really not necessary. So for me, a budget blade that's really high quality, that's not too expensive, is like the Astra. That really performs well. If I want to spend a bit more, probably Persona is a very good blade. But I have some examples. For example, the Feather, which I don't like. I just don't like these blades. I don't feel comfortable on my skin. The King C Gillette is very expensive if you buy it in the supermarket. These are over $1 each. So this is why I think the King C Gillette was brought to market, so that they could sell these blades to beard shavers. And it's just too expensive. These are the Astra that I think are very inexpensive relative to their quality, but there's just so many blades on the market. I mean, I have I have a box of them, and I have also some Astra blades and 100 of the Persona blades that I bought because I love those blades quite a lot. Now, the judgment on the Dove. What do I think of the Dove? Actually, value for money and for how my skin feels post-shave, it's surprisingly good. I like it. I like the post-shave feel of that soap. My skin feels moist and hydrated. I didn't like so much initially the shave with it. I think I have to work it into my beard a bit more, but it does quite a good job. I'm just going to be using some inexpensive Nivea post-shave balm. And again, cost per use. If the balm or the moisturizer is quite thin, you don't need to water it down. If it's a very thick balm, you know, you can add a few drops of water and then determine how much of that balm you need on your face. And one of the balms that I have that I love, that I use quite a bit of, I don't think, maybe I've used it once on my videos, is this True Fit and Heal Sandalwood. If I'm being stingy, 3 pumps of the pump, and if I'm being generous, 4 pumps. And 4 pumps will allow me to do my forehead, my nose, my neck, all the way down. 3 pumps I'm just using here and maybe my forehead. So 4 pumps is being generous. And if I want it to go a bit further, 3 pumps and a few drops of water, and that seems to work well enough for me. If I use 2 pumps, I'm not really getting the protection that I need. So don't be overly stingy, but it's good to push the products. This is my experience. Push the products as far as they go. Where's the limit? So for me, 3 pumps is the limit of the minimum that I'll use of this particular product. But again, it all depends on you, how much product you want on your face. And again, comes down to the cost per shave. So working that down, you know, how many times can you use a blade? The portion control of your soaps. And one of the gentlemen said, okay, it's so expensive that he doesn't understand why somebody would use an expensive soap. But if you work it out, you're spending less than, say, 50 cents a shave. That's really inexpensive. Some guys I know who will use the Gillette, they use the Gillette cartridges, they use it about 3 times and they try to push it out more. But on the 4th time, I've seen this with my own eyes, they get massive bumps all down their skin and face, and they use everything. And I actually taught them how to use a safety razor and good quality products. No problem. They can actually get more shaves out of a DE razor blade than what they can with a cartridge. And even they've tried the Gillette Mac 3, the 5s, everything, and the amount of redness, pimples, breakouts, and infections that they have on their face is unbelievable. He was an Irish gentleman that lived down the road that my wife was friends with his wife, and we had a meal with them while we were invited over. So yeah, definitely, it has to work. And sometimes spending a little bit more on your products, if you find something that suits your skin better, is the way to go. That's really the secret to the budget, is performance and how it performs. Anyway, that's my video. Cost per use, average it out, and you'll find that your cost of shaving is quite low. If you start suffering from having to make lots and lots of purchases, then again, your cost is going to go up. For me personally, I bought a lot of samples because I want to try everything, and my cost per shave is quite high, but my wastage is really low. That way I can justify, hey, look, I'm spending less than 50 cents a shave, and that's my limit. When I have to spend over 50 cents a shave or more than $1, you know, for me, I'm thinking, hey, that's starting to get expensive. And even though it might not sound much, like $1 a shave, it's a bit like takeaway coffee. If you're spending, you know, for a large coffee in Sydney now, it's about $5-6 in most places. And you average that out over a year, it's over $1,500. It's like, you know, maybe $2,000 for your coffees daily. That's $2,000 is enough for a holiday. So you can have a week holiday spending $2,000 here in Australia. You know, $120 a night plus your meals. You know, for 4 or 5 days, that's a nice holiday for 2 people. So yeah, I think don't overthink it, but at the same time, do think about how much wastage. And for me, I'm a big stickler, portion control. That's really the secret, the main secret. Even if you want to use expensive products, to not overuse them. And that way you'll end up having the product for a lot longer. You can buy other products and put them in a rotation, and then you can find out what you like. All right, cheers. Thanks for watching.